This season on Kerr Fatou.
Who is engaging them too?
No.
Fatou.
I am not at liberty to say yes or no.
Oli.
For us, every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon, to make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets, with a liberal air transportation policy, that daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.
When we touch down, better broke down.
With Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
And do small or big projects with the same dedication and commitment as we do. With a reputation as the leading printing company in the country, when it comes to major projects and innovative solutions, we always deliver in high quality, thus receiving the trust and confidence of our clients. From the moment your order is placed to when it is delivered, we believe in exceeding expectations from the sales manager to the production team, the account manager, and the person delivering your material. We have state-of-the-art equipment and a highly experienced and competent workforce that enables us to deliver top quality work on time. At reasonable prices, we provide our clients with multiple solutions right from conceptualizing, designing, printing, binding, publishing, and distribution. For all your printing requirements, we are strategically located at the Sankumsila Highway, the Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation. We print what you desire.
Every young Gambian dreams of a university degree. He wants a good paying job after graduation, a pretty wife, and ultimately own a dream home.
What if I can't afford my desired dream home?
And that is why you need to visit Universal Properties.
We specialize in customer satisfaction. We listen to every of our clients' needs when we show the properties to our clients. Before you know it, you hear the client saying,
I like this house.
This is the room that cuts my heart.
And most of the time, they cling to the door, never to let go. Most clients want to close the deal right there. And that is why we always have their contracts in the trunk of our cars. We work at our client's pace. No haggle, no hassle.
We're waiting for you at our office in Caraba Avenue here in the Gambia.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Kerr Fatou. Today we're here again, Oli, to talk about something very important, and I'm very, very passionate about this because I know we're doing our Women in Politics series, but we're going to take a 1 week break from that just to accommodate this very important day. It's the day of the International Day of the Girl Child, which is on Sunday, but of course today, Thursday, we're going to have members of the the Women Boss team here, Salimata Cham and Fatima, my Toma. Welcome to Kerr Fatou.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel, Yaibaram.
And of course, Olive, today we're going to talk about the Woman Boss, the projects they're embarking on, but also the International Day of the Girl Child. I know before this show, I've just said to these girls, a lot of us here are opportune, but there are so many girls out there in the rural places who do not have all these opportunities. It's important. What are the policies that have been put in place for young girls in the country? Are we listening to them? Do we know what they want? We are making a lot of decisions for these children, but are we considering their voices? I do know we had the Speaker of the National Youth Parliament here before, and there were a lot of concerns that she raised. Even the Parliament, the Youth Parliament, what consideration are we giving to that Parliament? Are we going to this Parliament? Are we giving them the media exposure they deserve for them to tell us what their problems are? So it's important to have them here to celebrate this day. Of course, the day is on Sunday, but we want to just do a pre-celebration, and that's why it's important to have Sally and Fatima here, Oli.
Welcome, Sally and Fatima. And as Fatih has said, Sunday is the International Day of the Girl Child. And I think it's very, very important that days like this are recognized and then the girls are being celebrated. But for some reason, somehow, most of it, the chunk of it just kind of stops around us and then within this area. So basically, the Woman Boss coming, we would definitely be very interested to know what's the outreach and how many of these young girls are being reached by the Woman Boss. Because I can see you said you collaborate, you engage, and you learn. So we would definitely like to know who you're collaborating with, who are you engaging, and who are the ones that are learning. So to have you guys here to come and talk about what you guys do, talk about your policies. And also it would be very important like to give young girls a platform where they can talk about issues that are affecting us, because the society that we are in, we're shying away from that, of course, but the society we're in, we're still growing. It's more of the girl doesn't have a voice. So having organizations like this and having young people being bold enough to come and sit down and talk, I think you guys should be commended. And once again, welcome to Kerr Fatou, and we would be doing the learning today.
Yes.
And we'll let you guys do the teaching.
Sally, so just for the viewers, tell us the Woman Boss. Tell about the organization and how was it formed and why? What is the reason of being having the Woman's Boss?
Thank you, Fatwa and Oli. It's wonderful being here. The Woman Boss is an organization in the Gambia that was formed by a Gambian Lebanese called Our American. This organization was formed to create a space, a bond of sisterhood, because in the Gambia here, the level of sisterhood is very low. And it's there, this organization is there to promote innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership skills to the young people, much especially the girl child. So it's a space whereby it's created for the Gambians, not only for the Gambians in the rural area, but in the for the Gambians, you know, from east, west, south, north, for them to come and to engage them, to learn and to know what is around them, to explore and experience what it means to stand, to talk about things around in your, you know, things that has to do with yourself, with the people. And just like I said before, it's a sisterhood connection.
Yeah. I like that, the sisterhood connection. It's important. So Fatima, how does this sisterhood work? How do you engage, like Oli said, to collaborate, to engage and to learn? how do you engage with other girls to create this sisterhood bond?
Thank you very much. Interesting question. So just to add up to what Sally said rather, I want to also add that the Woman Bus is a space that actually provides women, like, we have really amazing women, girls that are really amazing, brilliant. They have innovative ideas, but they don't have a space to actually implement this. So that is why the Woman Bus was actually formed to provide resources and to encourage women to go for what they believe and to go for what they have. They've got it in them.
Yeah.
So it's left to to them to actually implement this. So that is why the Woman Bus came up with this, to help give these women and girls space to do what they have in them.
Yeah.
So about your question, how do we engage with girls and how do we engage with basically what we do?
Yeah.
So it's how were we Women Bus School ambassadors? There was this application that we saw, and then being girls that are really passionate about change, we are kind of like change addicts. So when we see an opportunity that is providing a space for us, it's one thing to want something, it's one thing to aspire for change, but it's also another thing to take an action for that change.
Yep.
So we saw this application and then we applied, and we were fortunate enough to be among, I don't know how many applications we had, but we are the fortunate 9 girls who got to be chosen as Women Bus Girl ambassadors. And how we were engaged is basically the Women Bus organizes leadership trainings, and then we are involved. There was this training that we had with our moms. So it was like a conversation between moms and daughters, how they can be able to sit and chat, like they say, hang us all of that, you can free talk that. There's usually commotion. They don't usually get together. So like Sally said, sisterhood connection is to prove that ideology and mentality wrong, because we are women. We can sit together and we can discuss and we can be peaceful. But it's because people are putting this wrong ideology that they want us women in turn to believe this. So it's like the Woman Bus is kind of this space that is making women to actually recognize that, no, we are peaceful. And when we are together, we can also be peaceful. You don't get to tell us how we are. So basically how we get engaged is they organize trainings and we go into these trainings. We have discussions, not solely we learn from them and they learn from us. So the most important training that we had was with our moms. And then this conversation was really fruitful because we got to voice out what we face at home, how our parents are treating us that. It's not nice. We're not comfortable with that. So we need them to listen to us. In turn, we also need to hear their reasons for treating us like that. So the Woman Bus also tries to reach, we all have community projects that we want to deal with. So one of us has a project that solely deals with the rural girls. So she's going to get in touch with girls in the rural areas where she's gonna have trainings with them, and at the end of the day, she's going to provide sponsorship for their education.
So interesting. Yeah. Interesting, Oli. I wanted to, this fits right into what we're doing recently. Yeah. The girls, women in politics. Because we're trying to encourage more women into leadership, more women into politics. And the reason why a lot of the young women are not getting into politics is because they don't have the platform, but also they're not confident enough to share platforms with men. And of course,
it's like the self-confidence is not there.
Yeah. So catch them young. At this age, you have women, girls like that. Of course, in the next couple of years, they're going to be politicians or something else in society. Yeah. You're going to put resources in training them in something else, but not building their confidence. So that's why it's important to have organizations like this that empowering young women. And this is something that everybody should
just imagine in a society or in a country whereby women are being empowered. Men set that platform and create that resources to build up, the women into something bigger, because we already have the potentials in us. But the problem is that the society is limiting us It's like they set a barrier, like you can't do this, you're a woman, you can't do this, you're a girl, you are forbidden to say this, you are meant to go to the kitchen and not involve yourself in communications, in conversations. But in 5 more years to come, 10 years to come, we involving ourselves in politics, having to say, and our voice is being heard. Gambia is going far. Yeah. They're creating some, everything is going to be good, and not to the extent of extremely good, but it's going to be better than where it is right now.
Definitely.
For me, I really like the whole concept about sisterhood, and I know how impactful that is. If you are within a group of a sisterhood where what you do is uplift each other, not a sisterhood where what you do is trying to see who's on the ground and stays on the ground. Because I, for myself, I am part of a sisterhood that I can say, and then with my girls, and to be honest, I can wake up at 3 in the morning, 3 a.m. and I have an issue, and I would just send a WhatsApp message, and everybody will get up, and then everybody would come up with an idea, and then to be honest, I would see how that would make me feel, and that is very impactful. But you have talked about how 9 of you were selected to be school ambassadors. So I just wanted to know, do you engage, do you guys actually go to other schools and advocate about this woman bus thing? How do you engage your peers?
It's in the plant, and wherever we find ourselves, let's say after meeting, we go to our communities, talk to people about it, ask their opinion. It's more like we are journalists ourselves, because engaging somebody in a conversation whereby the person is so young, we engage people whom that they're so younger than us. We try to listen to them and to know how they would think and come up with ideas. Doing that, you find out that no matter how young they might be, they have something great up right now. So doing that and engaging the elders, talking to the elders about it in the community, it's very hard. But like you guys say, the self-confidence is there. So we cannot talk to them with respect, approach them with respect, and in turn, the things they say, we kind of take that thing back, or the belief they have, to put them in that sport, whereby, you believe in this, but do you think doing it in this way will make a greater change, or will it be productive in the future? And we get to listen to their opinions, and the conversation just flows like that.
And can I add to that?
Sure.
So you asked how do we engage our peers, right?
Yeah.
So we are from various schools. We have some from Gambia Methodist Academy, like myself, she's from SAS. We have Gambia Lebanese International. We have different schools. So for I personally, we are 2 from Gambia Methodist Academy. So what we do is, girls like change, making girls believe that they cannot do anything. It's so much normalized in our society that girls don't even go outside, thinking about what they can change in their community. That is because of the belief that they've been taught since they were growing up. Mm-hmm. So what we do is when we go back to school, when we are from the woman bus, when we go back to school, I personally, I have received testimonies from my friends about how my perspective has changed their perspectives as well. So when we go back to school, we get to I get to involve them in conversations about basically mostly what we learned from the woman bus. Tell them, you're sitting here, what do you want to be in the future? And then you see most of them being I want to be a lawyer. So I want to be something like animation and stuff like that. Yeah. So you have some of them with so much aspirations, and just sitting down and listening to their aspirations, listening to them dreaming, I would say, it's so much, it means so much to me that I would just have to ask them, do you think you can be that? And then they'd be they will hesitate, you will see the hesitation, and they'll be yeah, I would love to be that. And that is how we will start to bring in the skills that we learned from the woman bus and tell them, you can do anything you set your mind to, right? Yeah. So, and then that is how you talk to them. When you try to, it's not like everybody is a liberty to believe whatever they want. They also have opinions. So I cannot change somebody's opinion, but I can at least talk to them and see how they can actually look at my perspective, because everybody's perspective and voice matters. So I don't have to impose my perspectives on them, but then I can also voice out my opinion, and it's left to them to look at it from anywhere they think. So I'll have to say, because of that, we get to engage with them in our schools. We have like kind of a little banter at school and have these discussions, generally about life, about how we are treated in our society, how girls are so much degraded in our societies that we want to change. And that is what we really want to change. And having a group of girls listening to you, and having a group of girls listening and nodding their heads, and being in this fight, I'll say, with you, it's really encouraging, and I'll say that is how we engage our peers.
Okay, great. So before we take our first commercial break, I want us to talk about your projects. I know you guys are doing projects under the Women Boss. Let's talk about your projects. So what project are you doing currently?
Sorry, before we just get into the projects, initially at the beginning she talked about when they engage their moms.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know briefly, what is the relationship like after the discussion? What was it before? And when you guys had the engagement, how is it now?
So, before the training, you see a lot of girls, like, you know, it's like a group, everybody's coming in, you have moms come, you have daughters come, and it was like, everybody's expectant. And we were asked to write what we hope to expect from the training, and then we passed it around. So there's this girl who had to talk about how she was being restricted by her parents because she wanted to study arts. But then her parents had totally different plans for her. So she had to study science either because of her aggregate or because of how we know in this country art is so much degraded. I've been in that position. So because I have been in that position, I had to get up and talk to her. So we also have moms, like I said. So I put across my view that we know parents, they want the best for us, yes. It is in our best interest that they try to make decisions. At least that is what they think, right? But also we have different perspectives. So it is only right for them to sit and ask us, what do you really want to be? And then if they see that what they want us to be and what we want ourselves to be is not aligning, then they can try to talk to us about it. And then we'll see, because conversation and communication is the key to every problem that we have. So I talked to her about how I had a similar problem and was able to talk to my parents out of it, because at the end of the day, it is me who is going to do what they want me to do. And if I don't do well, then the blame is going to be on me, not them. So it is really important to make them, to make these people see this, to see this from our perspective. But also there was this parent in our midst who put this across that it is their responsibility to guide us. Yes, they have experience. Like, we're just little kids that are trying to learn from them. So it's also their responsibility to use their experience and teach us and make sure that we don't do the same mistakes that they might have done. So it's also important that, for example, if I want to be a lawyer, and then my mom says that I don't have it in me to be a lawyer, and let me say my dad is a lawyer, and then my mom goes and brings all the books of my dad, the books that my dad have to read, and I don't love reading. So my mom shows me, are you ready to read all of these books? I'm like, whoa, really? And then that is how we communicate. I'm like, okay, I might reconsider my decision. So that is how we were able to communicate with this. So I think what we learned from that, what the outcome was that communication is key. Okay. When you want something and your parents have a totally different thing from yours, all you need to do is to just communicate, because at the end of the day, they are your parents and they want the best for you.
And the most important part of it is that parents creating that space for their children, because most of the time in the Gambia or Africa here, children are very scared of talking to their parents about things. And most of the time you find out that it's either the parent is busy with work, or they have that norm in them, like they have the normalized system whereby they say, no, sitting with your children or your children sitting among elders talking, it's very bad, it's not good. They make it as taboo. Talking to my parents about certain decision whereby I'm just a little bit knowledgeable about it, communicating with that individual, whether it's the paternal side or the maternal side, creates something in between, that mutual understanding. And you see where, you find it in some children, whenever what happens to them, they run first to their mom.
Yeah.
Not because of anything, or not because of what the mom has been given her, but that communication and that creation of that platform set by the mom itself. So that's it. So we're pleading in this process, like parents out there, to listen, to create that time to listen to their children. Even though, you know, sometimes you might see your children and think that everything is okay. You know, engage her in the conversation. Talk to her, you know, bring something up just to know, you know, what does he think about this? What can I do to change, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And it's going to be very easy for the communication to flow.
So to just add a little bit,
That's fine.
We are not blaming our parents for not listening to us, because I feel like it's something that they were brought up with.
Yeah,
they were like they've been so much pressured by our ancestors, I would say, that they think it's a normal thing to do it on their kids. So we are not blaming you, parents. No way. We're just saying that the world is evolving, and then we are evolving with the world. We are not behind the world. So the most important thing you have to understand is that we are no more in that generation that we are brought up in. So it's also up to you to adjust to the world that we are living in right now and try to just sit and reflect. Because I believe we have more educated parents that in this generation than we had before. And we know education is to raise awareness. Education made you to not be like our ancestors. So it's up to you. It's really up to you, and this is what we are pleading, that you just listen to us. It's not too much that.
Whatever we might say in this process, you know, there are parents out there watching us, but one thing we want to make clear is that no matter what happens, no matter, you know, how heavy things might be on us, they are the greatest gift we have ever received in this world. They are loving, they are caring, you know, we can compare you parents to anybody. But we want you to see this side of us, creating that space, creating that environment for us to find it in ourselves, to communicate with you. Just like, you know, we hope and believe that you are our first best friend. But the way things are going, we find out that it's really poor when we go to the community.
It's definitely important that we engage each other.
Yeah.
Like she said before, for you to even have that kind of conversation with your mom or your dad, you're not even supposed to sit among them.
Yeah.
But things have changed, times have changed, and I think it's important these conversations will really help to strengthen the relationships, but also to know your child better. Because a lot of us, we don't even know our children. We don't get to listen to them. We don't get to have these conversations with them.
And just to add on to that, it's actually very, very important, because I can take myself as an example. I have parents that, especially my dad, he would listen to any garbage I have to say.
Yeah.
From when I started talking. So that's why I am like so confident to say, like Fatou knows, like I would say things and then Fatou would say, Oli, this is wrong. My dad is the first person I would ask. If he says you're right, to me, it doesn't matter anymore what anybody says. And I would tell Fatou, no, but my dad said it's okay. Yeah. Because from when I was very, very young, my dad gave me the opportunity to express myself. Yeah. My dad gave me the opportunity to speak. And then my dad was like, not, you know, like how other parents, only the elder one speaks. Even when we have an issue, my dad would ask everyone. There's nothing like Kimo Mak. So once Kumaki explains, that's the end of the story. No, he would ask everybody, because everybody has a story to explain. Everybody has a way you see things. So, I mean, it's very, very important that parents do engage their kids. It's very, very important that, because that builds confidence in people. And I myself, I'm an example. My mom was the one that would say to my dad, "Yang encourage kid," you know. But then my dad is the one that believes in that you have to let people to express themselves. Yeah. And then that's how I've been brought up, and that's how I just sit here on Kerr Fatou and then
say anything you like.
Say anything I want to say.
Very well. But before we go, though, I want to talk about your projects before we take our first commercial break.
So, my project is basically a market cleaning, like locally called set setup, because I found out that 80%, because I am a woman activist and a girl child side activist.
Okay.
So it is like I'm so much passionate about issues that are affecting them. So I got to find out that about 80% of every market population constitute women. And it's not like I'm not seeing the men. Yes, I'm seeing them, but it's something that is happening. I'm speaking like the truth. So, and we all know, like, there's this culture that we have that I so much dislike, and which is people tend to believe that anywhere that is not within their house is not their responsibility. So when they leave their house, they throw it anywhere they want. So they don't care where they throw the trash. But if you go into their houses, it's a totally different story. So, and it's really ridiculous because you are walking in the same street that you're littering. And also I found that in the market, it is like people litter in the market. And it's really not hygienic. And we all know health. Health is the most important thing somebody can have, because without health, we will not have the strength and energy to be thinking about other issues that we are talking about right now. So that is why I wanted to come up with this initiative, an initiative where I will gather my fellow, like we have the Woman Boss team, obviously, and also I have other girls, my other colleagues who are willing to help me out. So how is it going to happen is, basically, I'm going to choose a day where all of us are going to gather at my market, which is in Sanchaba. That market is an eyesore, like really, you will not want to see it. So what we're going to do, initially I went as far as talking to the manager of the market, and then he had to call, because my area is part of the Birkama Area Council, he had to call those people to come and collect the trash before we can clean the market. So so if that happens, we're going to clean the market, like everywhere. When we clean the market, we're going to donate dustbins to ensure the sustainability of the project. So I was actually, the people actually told me that they're going, as long as I donated the dustbins, they're going to maintain the sustainability, they're going to maintain the cleanliness of the market. And I will be going, since I live in that community, I'll be going from time to time to go and check how the cleaning is going, like how the market is being sustained. And if that happens, also because it's one thing, because like I said earlier, it's anywhere that is not within their house, it's not their responsibility. So the manager of the garage told me that he is going to take it upon himself to make sure that everybody throws away the trash when the bins are full. And if that does not happen, he's going to use his own money to do so. And I'm really hoping, that I get to have that money, like that help also to do as he's doing. Like it takes so much kindness to be able to do that. And I really hope, because it's something that is kind of a mission for me, to be able to see a place that is so clean, because we all know we all work in these streets. And it's not only affecting those who live there, it's affecting all of us, because we all go to the same markets, we all go to the same streets. And at the end of the day, without good health, come on, you cannot do anything else.
You cannot.
So yeah, that is how I plan to do my project, how I plan to implement it. And I also have somebody who also told me she's going to help me with the recycling of the trash. If the trash is recycled, and then we're going to sell the recycled stuff, and then make the money to also ensure the sustainability of the project.
Wow, that's interesting. This is how we create leaders. This is how we create leaders. I mean, this is interesting. And I would love to be part of that project. Yes, I would love to. That is very interesting. And, if we have so many people in all our markets, somebody do a project like this, because councils cannot do this. They don't have the resources. They don't have the manpower. So if you come in and bring a project like this, and they empower you, they make sure they get the place clean and throw away the garbage, that's it. We're going to have a clean market. So it's not easy to do some of these things, but with commitment, it's doable. I think that is fantastic.
And you know what's the problem? When people, they will see something that is completely destroyed or messed up, and they can fix it within a minute or so, all they will say is, the government. The government should do this. The government should have done this. But when you look it closely, you find out that you yourself talking, you are part of the government.
Exactly.
Then who are you waiting for to fix it for you? And you fixing it right there is an added advantage to you. It makes you be recognized without people knowing it or not. But somebody in a distance, it's looking at you, whereby you have no clue about. And it pays, whether kind or cash.
It does.
And the most important thing is that you do it from your heart. And the person who sees you doing it from your heart will reward you, and that is none other than the God Almighty. That's the most important thing.
Definitely.
So with the Woman Boss projects, so you guys, like the 9 of you guys, would have individual projects, or do you guys have collective projects? But part of the individual projects, she's talked about doing a setup, but we just wanted to maybe know what different projects is it that the Woman Boss is engaged in?
Like all the girls, everyone has a different
everybody
project, right?
has an individual project.
And then I'll maybe chip in the project of
others.
My project is about comprehensive health and sexuality education. And the reason behind this, project is among all the community problems that one can find in my community, they might be, why do you go for this, topic? Because I find out that, research has shown me that in every community you go, 34% or more than that are knowledgeless about comprehensive sexuality education. And people have that mindset that it's being taught in the schools. I'm a student, she's a student, probably your days have hers as a student. But in the classroom, when teachers start talking about something that has to do with sex, it's a big commotion. Like you see somebody's eating there, somebody's turning his or her face, and there you kind of spot that I'm saying this, but it's not right. They don't find it right for me to say it. And sometimes teachers will do their best to communicate with it, but children have that mindset already that it's a taboo for it to be said, much especially in public. So you go to the communities, you find out that most of the youths there, many youths, don't know anything about it. And if you want to look for somebody who has an idea about it, it might take you a long time for you to ask an individual, and the person will be able to talk about it just like you expected. And these are the reasons why, you have lots of many teenage pregnancy going on in our communities, much especially in the Gambia here. When you ask somebody, how did you put somebody in a conversation whereby the person trusts you, how were you able to get pregnant? They'll be like, my first time of being pregnant, I have no idea that I was pregnant. That would be a blast on your face. Because you find out, you want to know that you should have been taught about this a long time ago. You should have had you should have an idea about this, but it's not happening. And when you try to engage them in a topic, even the elderly people about it, they'll be like, my child knows everything about it. But try to find that child, sit with the child in an isolated place, ask them, what do you think about this? They'll be like, I have no idea about it. What I just know, if I am on this spot and I want to make some findings, all I can do is to Google it, go on YouTube. But during that process, you find out that they are getting the wrong information. So people, not even our parents, but every elderly person in the community has to take it upon yourself. Not a choice, it's a responsibility for you to take it up, sit with them, explain it to them, create that space, make them feel like it's not only about pregnancy that comes in with it. Their health matters in it. Because you see, somebody less than 18 years old with a child, pregnant with a child, how can a child take care of a child? It's a big question to ask. They will know what to do. All they know, like the basic thing they know is to feed, breastfeed. And some people, you will see them breastfeeding a child before 6 months. They'll just start giving them water, and they feel like, yeah, it's something that, every woman should do. And I have to give water to my child because it's been 2 months, 3 months. But they don't have that ideology. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have access to it. You go to school right now, there's no POP FLE teach in the school, which is population and family life education, which helps most of us. People that have been through it or have a little bit education about it knows that it doesn't only talk about sex. It talks about how you can manage your family, your relationship, and other things. How am I going to, try to fix this in my community? It's organizing a Bantabat talk show with the elders. Before a Bantabat talk show with the elders, like making a door-to-door talk, visiting elders, asking them about it. What do you think bringing this in this community will make a change? Whether it will make a change? How do you say it? What are your thoughts about it? Like for them to sit and reason before the Bantabat talk show begins. And that Bantabat talk show is not only about the parents. One is for the parents, and two, to gather the children in a safe place to talk to them about it. Let them feel that self-confidence to talk about what they experience or what they go through when they are seeing their menses. Because when you see other people most especially girls, they feel so shy when they're in their menses to even go outside, because they have that mindset that when I go, the blood might ooze out and people will just make fun of me. And that's the truth in our community. You just step out with a little stain on you, you are doomed for life. Like everybody will be making a mockery of you. Anywhere you find yourself, somebody will just point at you and say, she was the girl that has this. You are just bringing that person down. So it all has to do with the comprehensive health and sexuality education to help the young girls in our community to stop, to minimize the rate of teenage pregnancy, make them know about their health. And when it comes to the health, it's not only about teenagers. Right now, you go to Sukuta community right now, there's been a big, they had this push and pull, more like a protest, whereby they want to know why is it that many people, more especially the women, are getting, they die during birth. That was, when I heard about that, I was like, yeah, doctors had to contribute with it.
Yeah.
But the individual also has a role to play in it.
Yeah.
Because if you have no idea that you are pregnant, you every day you sit down, you eat, and that's it, you relax. You don't go to hospital for your monthly treatments to check up on yourself. You cannot blame the doctors for that.
Yeah.
But you go to the Sukuta Health Center, you find yourself in that hospital whereby there's an emergency, and you just approach the doctors. They'll be like, I'm having my breakfast, I'm having my lunch, I'm having my dinner. You feel so much pain in your heart, but at that moment you can't do anything to subdue it. And most of the tough ones would be like, you don't know the reason why you are here. It's really killing people every day, every second. Yeah. And I know of Sukuta, but I know in other communities when you go there, you have similar things there. When it comes to the health and, the Gambia, the basics is good, but it needs improvement.
A lot of improvement.
People it needs to go out of their room to educate people, to make them feel that you don't know this, I'm here to help you. To establish that relationship of, finding time to please or finding time to communicate and provide people with what you have. It's not like you're losing anything in the process, because most of the people who do that, like talking to people whom they don't know, they have no relationship with, if you kind of look at it, they know how it feels not to have anything with you. So they're just trying to give it out for the person to feel you're loved.
Wow.
In the process.
Interesting. So we'll take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about the International Day of the Girl Child. And of course, what are you guys preparing for this day? And what are some of the policies that you would want to see being implemented by stakeholders? Yeah. So we'll take our first commercial break.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings, 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service, such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464-838. WhatsApp us on 3259220, or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
sam pap dee na déedéet daf ma yónni woon ma suyal ko bii waaw yàlla def mu gagné jàppoon $100,000 la gagné.
laa ilaha illallah.
te yow xam nga ne sama papa dafa amee cardiaque.
yow da ngaa dof yow xam nga luy $100,000.
am naa ko kay man naa lu ñëw bëggoon nga dimbali ci.
demal na nga def damaa toog rek sama xel mi ne ci yow xam nga bërki démb li daal si benn waay fee. waaw ma romb ko rek. bërki démb. waaw muy yuuxu di tëb. ma ni kii lu ko dal ñu ne ma daal ci loto gaming Gambie bi la laal.
jar na ko
laal na ci lu di.
waaw nga dafa am quarté am kente am tiercé waaw maanaam nag tey jii. waaw kente bi la. te jackpot bee passé. xaalis
kente mooy lan.
kente maanaam mooy juróomi fas yi.
waaw beneen bi.
am na quarté. mooy ñeenti fas yi. ak tiercé. tey nag xaalis bi daa gën a yokk.
lu tax
ndax jackpot bële dañ kaa tegaat ci bii maanaam juróomi fas yi boo ko jàppee ci ordre mooy risque nga désordre bi sax day fay. bu ma ko jàppoon
yooyu moom noonu la demee da ngay dem rek jouer.
am na lu ma yaakaar
man gis naa seen kii yi kees yu ndaw yi ci biir dëkk bi. mais daal dama ni lii moom amul xaalis da nga ciy def sa xaalis.
del jël wecce rek sànni ko fa xool jëmbat la. laa ilaha illallah yow li nga wax ni tey ji bu yàlla dogaloon ma gañe ko lu mu gàtt
fi mu toll nii boo gañe woon $100,000.
waaw nu may def.
waaw nooy def.
xam nga yow sama xarit nga.
waaw
damay fexe nga rey say noonu.
ci nan.
lu mu gàtt $50,000.
waay.
Thierno. woowee ambulance.
lan la lu xew ni
sa baay gay dee na.
sama papa gay lu ko rey.
$100,000 dalaa ne ko boo ma gàññaloon si li ma la yónni dama ko koy jox mu daanu ni sama kaw.
man waxuma ko mu waxee woon la ko noonu yow la ko waroon informé ndax yow yaa ko gagné. yaa gagné jàppoon.
fay lempo warugal la si képp koo xam ne doomi réew mi nga ak ñu fi dëkk bu fekkee ne ci at mi sa koom-koom weesu na $2,400 mbete weer bu nekk di nga am lu tollu si $2,000 lempo si la nguur gi di sukkandiku ngir liggéey yokkute réew mi GRA mooy banxaas bu nguuri Gambia sas ngir mu fayeku lépp luy lempo ci biir réew mi ba tax na GRA di yëgal faykati lempo yi ne warugal la pour ñu fay lu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment maanaam bépp contrat bu waay joxe te si biir réew mi lañu toog kon xaalis si contrat bi ngeen nangotoo war nga cee wàññi ci xayma téeméer bu nekk fukka bu fekkee ne contracto bi dëkkut ci biir réew mi bu boobaa di nga war a wàññi téeméer bu nekk fukka ak juróom lii mooy lempo bu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment lii mooy lempo bi nga xam ne yow mi joxe contrat warugal la nga wëlbatiku dem fay ko ci maakaani GRA tax office bu la gën a jege mbete ci banque yi GRA jagleel pour fay lempo war ngaa jébal lempo bi si diiri fukki fan ak juróom gannaaw bi nga wàññee ci xaalis si contrat bi amul benn contracto bu ñu teggil fay lempo bi xanaa mu fekk ne nguuri Gambia ñoo ko jégale boole si projet yi nga xam ne mbootaay ndimbali ñoo koy dépense GRA di fayeku lempo ngir yokkute réew mi.
Welcome back to part 2 of this interview. Actually, I think we didn't have much to say during the part 2, but it was interesting and it was just enlightening listening to them. The projects are fascinating and they just, the phrase, catch them young is, what is happening here. And if we have more children like this, the Gambia, obviously, what we always say, Gambia didn't them. The Gambia didn't with children like this. But Sunday is International Day of the Girl Child, and I know the woman boss is doing some activities. Tell us what you are doing to celebrate the day.
So, I would just need to maybe give a briefing about the International Day of the Girl Child.
Sure. Yeah.
So when we talk about International Day of the Girl Child, what usually pops up in most people's mind is, well, what did girls do, what extraordinary thing that girls do that you have to have a special day to be celebrated. But it's actually not the case, because this International Day of the Girl was started by the Beijing Declaration in 2011 when they gathered to actually acknowledge the issues girls are going through. It's like a day in which girls are included to talk about issues that are affecting them and to make the stakeholders responsible for addressing these issues to do so. So the Woman Voice, it's also doing exactly what the day is about. So we will be having an intergenerational dialogue, which will be here on Sunday, the very day. So we will have stakeholders with young people like us. We will have like a dialogue, intergenerational dialogue. They're from different generations and they are the stakeholders. So we are here to hold them accountable for the policies they make for us. And we are also here to question what they are doing, like the policies that they put in place for us. Are they actually implementing it? So basically, the Woman Voice has two celebrations, commemoration for the International Day of the Girl Child. One is going to be a day before the day actually, and the other one is going to be the day actually. So I'll be involved with the intergenerational dialogue, and Sally will be involved with the virtual
communication.
And yeah, go ahead.
That virtual communication, it's about letting the world know how your leadership skills has helped you influence your community and how it has helped you in various ways, and what will you do in order to, broaden the way of other people's as young as you, as me, myself, and to share and communicate with them. For them also, with the virtual communication, they're sharing their experience with us. It's like a conversation between two people in a different society, whereby we get to explore what is happening in your community. What has this position lead you to the next position? How can you change the world, or how can you make a change, starting from yourself, your community, where you are, and begins with the countries and the world itself.
So what are some of the issues that you think you would love to see addressed, especially policy issues? I know a lot of the time we don't listen to young people, or we make decisions for them. So what are some of the policy issues you would love to see change, especially in our policy directions?
Let's say the Lawmakers National Assembly, whereby there is an existence of the Children National Assembly. But when you go out there of this space, you go out there to ask, do you have any idea about this? The people, most of the children, 90% of the children have no idea about there's been that space created in the Gambia for children younger than us to be there to make laws and to speak for themselves so that their voice can be heard. We want them to know that, yes, there is a law placed in for the girl child, but those laws are not being effectively implemented. It's like it's there for the sake of it, like for the sake of just laying it out.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your right has been violated, what are the next steps? Like everybody gives their hands like this. It's like they forgot about us, or they have forgotten about us in the process of making their laws.
So someone will tell you, though, in Gambia we have all these fine laws because we sign up to all these treaties. We have all these. Gambia is not sort of laws. We have all these fine laws when it comes to gender issues, when it comes to protecting the girl child, but implementation becomes the problem. How many of the people who are even custodians to these laws, how many of them do even know them? Well, we're talking about a lot of rape cases happening right now, and how the law enforcement officers are even treating these cases, putting the victims at risk. There's so many things that are happening. So is it about the policy, the laws, or it is about the people? Because I think we have the laws, though.
It's about the people.
Okay.
And
yeah. Go.
And the people making the law are not that much strong or firm in their position to say this has been declared. No emotional strain it is attached to it to make sure that, like, to tamper it. Like when you violate it, you have to go through the penalties. You have to face the repercussion of it.
You wanted to say something?
Yes, I have a lot to say.
Okay.
So I think the most important thing Yes, we have policies, but there's lack of inclusivity. Like when we talk about issues, like they say, things for the youths without the youths, it's not for the youths. Equally, things for children without children, it's not for the children. So I think what needs to be done, it's like a recommendation I'm putting across. If you think you are there helping us, like they're making policies for us, yes, but we know better what we are going through. So it's only right for them to consult us about issues that we're going through and to make sure that these issues are actually in line with what we are going through. For example, we had this child marriage. We had child marriage, which was banned in 2015. We had FGM, which was also banned during the former regime. But it was really, really disheartening when that regime was succeeded. People were like, that is the law of the former regime.
Yep.
And this new regime has its new laws, which is it's really, really disheartening because a law is a law.
Yep.
Because like they say, a state is permanent, but it's a government that comes and goes. Like the way a state is permanent, equally, that is how laws are also permanent. Laws are here to guide us make decisions.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense. It really does not make any sense. And also, like Sally mentioned earlier, I think, yeah, we have a National Assembly, Children's National Assembly, which is really amazing if it was actually done in a way that children are aware of. Yes, we have a National Assembly, like the General National Assembly for the country, and they are representatives of the people, right? So equally, it's something that I was thinking of. We have a National Assembly, but to be honest, I'm going to be honest, I had no idea that we had Children's National Assembly until recently. And I'm sure like about 90% of children do not also have idea. So I feel like these children are there because people put them there. Like people are pressuring them just to have the name that we have a Children's National Assembly, which is actually supposed to address children's issues.
Yeah.
But is it happening? It's not happening. So we really have a poor implementation body because we are aware of the rape case that is happening in this country because it's really alarming, and it makes me think if this year, especially this year, if something is really happening, do they inject them to be behaving in this way? I cannot understand. So and this is happening, and people are still acting oblivious to it. We have children suffering, like that 5-year-old who was raped by her own relative until she died. What was done about that? We also have another case that is still a pending case in court, and nothing is being done about that. And the most interesting part, I'm being really hyper because this is really getting out of hand. We don't need this kind of issues like this. We need issues to be addressed. We are here. We know things we are going through, so it's only right for them to come and ask for our opinion, to consult us about. You know what?
Yeah.
I think it's more.
Especially, nobody's true, especially the rape cases. It's just
one of
yeah,
those things that
it's alarming.
Should actually step up and see how best each and every one of us should play a role. But talking about the National Assembly, the Children's National Assembly, you're very right. I didn't even know about it until when Fatou mentioned. So, and then if this is the National Assembly that talks about children's issues, I think this is something that an awareness has to be raised, and this could be a way where like young people can actually reach out to these people and say, when you go to your assembly, can you guys talk about this? Can you guys talk about that? So I think, implementation is key, but awareness as well. It's one thing that in this country, it's definitely a big problem because a lot of things are happening that nobody knows about. And also in terms of Fatou has mentioned, like policies, we have all these laws. But then for me, I just say we have to be part of it because that's what the UN system wants. We have to be part of it because maybe that's what the EU wants, or that's what everybody's doing. But then it comes back to the same question. How is it impactful? How is it affecting the people? How is it, benefiting the people that are being affected? And these are things that, like when we have young people, or even us who are still young but older than you guys, these are things that we need to be talking about more. And these are things that we need places that where we need to go, like you said, safe places should be identified for people to go and talk about their issues, because without a safe place, I mean, one can just sit at home and not really talk about anything about what is actually affecting them or what is happening. But then coming back to the International Day of the Girl Child, is this the first year it is being celebrated in the Gambia?
No.
Since it has been celebrated since 2011? So basically, it's just more of what happens. You sit in a panel, you talk about it, and that's where it ends. So what would you guys want to do differently after you have your celebration, which is going to happen at Kerr Fatou, then you have a virtual meeting? Where do you guys want to take it? What do you want to see happen with some of these issues that you guys would identify and raise?
You know, when you hear the word, the International Day of a Girl Child is being celebrated, it's not only the celebration that comes with it, it's beyond that. Like, because we want the world to hear our voice and know what we are going through with all the silence that has been going on. We want to hold, you know, those people, the lawmakers, accountable. That's the plan. And we want to know, okay, this particular person is the one empowered to do this and this and this. We want to hold you accountable for it. We want you to sit down, even without us in face-to-face conversation. We want you to sit in your home or in your comfortable couch, think or rethink. What am I doing, or what am I serving the people out there? Or, you know, the power invests in you, how am I using it? Because we believe whether positive or negative, and everybody has a conscience. So we want everybody out there to see this thing as not only organizations can celebrate it, every individual can celebrate it, even you being a man or a woman. You have that key role to play, because you have that space, or that there is a portion whereby if you don't take that responsibility, and it's your responsibility, deep down you know that it's your responsibility, and you have refused to take up that responsibility, that space will be blank for the rest of your life.
So I think the day also is a day of reflection, because we have come a long way as girls from the days where, you know, when they choose who goes to school is the male child. You stay home because there's no resources, to a day where we all have access, most of us, 90% of us have now access to education, being any form of education. So we have come a long way. From a time also where I do remember coming from a family of, you know, being the leader in the family, I always say that whenever we make decisions, my dad will always ask us, all of us, but most of the time we will agree this is what we're going to do. And he comes back to me and says, oh, Bible says we should do it this way. And that's my younger brother. And sometimes I'll say to him, is it because I'm a girl, or is it because I'm a woman? And that happens up to today. So many of us feel that way, that up to now, yes, we have come a long way, but still there's more to do, because women still, even in our societies, they believe that the male child, their voices are superior to us. Even at my age, with my position, with what I'm doing today, I always have this fight with my dad. We will have a family conversation, and I'll say, this is how we do it. We agree this. And next day he comes back, he say, and to me, that is an insult. Or is he more intelligent than me? Or because he's a man. So these things happen up to today. It's happening in our societies. But also we have come a long way. So I think that is something that worth celebrating, from a day where we cannot even go to school to days where we can have an all-female panel here and talk about issues that are affecting us. We have come a long way, but I think there is more to do, and that's why it's important to hear people like you talk about issues that you want, what you want government to do, and what you want policymakers to do as well.
So can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes. We acknowledge that we have come a really long way.
Yeah.
Like the 4 years of independence, we've come a really long way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've accomplished a lot. We have free education. We have girls going to school now. We have women voting. We have a lot of opportunities now. We can also imagine, like reimagine a world where, you know, in the next, can we reimagine the Gambia in the next 54 years where women and men are like treated equally? Can we reimagine? Like, I know, even though men have been leading for the past 4 years, there they've been leading, like most of the leadership positions, whatever. If you look at it from the presidency, we have all of the men, they've been leading.
Why do we always have to be the vice president?
Exactly.
Why do we?
That is like a clear sign that we are always supposed to be under the men.
Yeah.
That is not right.
Yes.
It's really not right.
Yeah.
So, now I'm like, this is a challenge I'm putting across.
Yeah.
If you really want to see a better Gambia, let's try a female president and see.
That's
if
true.
we try a female president, let's just reimagine how this works. Because, for the past 3 years, we have 3 past male presidents, right? Like, okay, the other one is still present, right?
Yeah.
2 past male president and a current male president.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've come a long way, but we're still having the same issues. Right? We still, especially with women. Women are still being raped, women are still being degraded, women are still being told what to do. Like, girls have been still like caged in a cave, like kind of. They're still caged, they're not allowed to fly their wings, they're being told what to do. So can we try
a female president?
Try a female president?
Yes.
Or can we try a world of equal opportunities? Can we try a world where a man will not just look at me and like, can you do this? Are you sure? And all of that. Can we also try a world where both men and women are paid equally?
Yeah.
Can we also try, like, can we just try? It's not, we have nothing to lose. If we just try, I assure you of a very, very positive result. Let's just try.
That's true.
Letting the woman lead, for me, it's about women taking the lead. Why do we have to allow them to let us lead? Why can't we stand up and say we are leading? So I think, as you said, you were appealing for them to let us lead, but I am saying, us as women, let's start leading.
Because we have the numbers.
Yes.
Let's start leading.
Let's start leading.
Because we have the numbers, actually.
Exactly.
We have the numbers.
They should not give us a chance. We should own it.
Us to a certain point.
Are we limiting ourselves as well?
We should not accept that.
I think society is telling us to limit ourselves. So
and then now we should say, you know what? We're not doing that.
We are not listening
to lead. We are going to be sitting at the table. Look at this. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're all women.
Yeah. For this 2020, whereby you have the pandemic at the other side and lots of stress going out there, I want the viewers out there to, sit comfortably straight on the couch or wherever you might find yourself. Just tell to yourself that this 2020 is going to be the greatest moment of my life where I will have to achieve no limitation. I will be the go-getter. So, saying those words in and outside of you creates that boldness in you. It's a little bit of more like you try to straighten yourself. Don't listen to what the others might say, or the men on the left and right hand saying that you are a woman, you cannot do this. It's more like a societal stigma. They try to limit you to certain things. And before you realize anything, you are just sitting down one place, just them throwing you whatever trash they feel like to throw at you. So you don't have to say.
Who are the society? Because like the society
is us.
Is the society. We are the society.
Yeah, we are the society.
And we have the numbers. We are what, 51% of the population?
Yeah, but we are the society. But when you come into the real, logically, when people are saying, much especially men, they will take you as we are the society, categorizing men, the 90% involvement. So whenever you talk about women, it's more like you are a feminist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they categorize you in a portion whereby you feel, if you are that low self-esteem person, you feel like that's the end of me. So we need to create that. You are a woman, like we are sitting in a corner whereby we are understanding. Our voices have been heard. But now it's your responsibility, and it's your responsibility as well to create that environment where we all get to stand up, raise our hands and heads up and say, no more this, no more that. We are here for women. We are part of the society, and our voice matter in everything we can.
And please, they always say, because I always reason this way, like, some people with like most of them men, they were like, you are out to not get a husband. If I don't get a husband, that's fine. It's not something that I'm actually here to fight for my rights.
Yeah.
If that is threatening the men to go away from me,
so be it.
You would
So be
definitely
it.
find that.
And but the funny thing is, all of those men want successful women. But why you don't want your child to be successful?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So we are not letting anyone tell us what to do.
Exactly.
We are going to march towards getting what we want.
Exactly.
This has been a very interesting conversation. We are so pleased to have you, and we hope and pray this empowers so many other girls out there, because that is the goal. The goal is to get girls find their voice. Before we're able to empower each other, we have to find our voices, because if you don't find your voice and you don't know your calling, you will not be able to empower any other person. Just speak about what you're passionate about, and that is what is important. We all don't believe in the same cause. I've told people, if you want to make me a minister, you're gonna, that's not my calling. This is my calling, but someone else's calling is something else. So we all have a different route, but as long as you're passionate about what you're doing and you find a voice, the inner voice out there, that's the most important thing. And we are so proud to share a platform with all of you.
Thank you.
And we would, and Sunday is your program here on Kerr Fatou at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock live on Kerr Fatou. We'll also encourage people to send in their questions to you, especially the young people, to send in questions about some of the policy issues also they would want to see. And since we're going to have 2 policymakers on the panel, so that will be interesting. What's your final message?
I want everybody out there to know that you have a voice within you, and your say matters in everything you find yourself. So communication is key and important to whatever you might do. Believe in yourself and know whatever step you take, you have something greater that you are about to get. And don't let anybody limit you to anything. You are great within you. You have something that you have to discover. After discovering it, you have a responsibility to take. That responsibility will not be accomplished, and without it being accomplished, the world or the Gambia or the community you live in will be behind. So if you don't want that, take a step, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatima.
So I would like to speak, like, this is specifically for girls out there. So I want to tell you that you should not fear failure. The only thing you should fear is regret. So right now I'm telling you, like, I'm challenging you to start working towards the woman you envision yourself. I mean, I will want to be that woman in 10 years who will be proud of me right now. So I want you to also do the same thing, to also work towards making your 10 years time person proud. So basically, do not let anything discourage you. You've got this. Your voice is the most important tool you have, and you can use against anyone. Do not let anybody use your voice against you. So use your voice to your own advantage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatima. Oli?
I would like to commend the woman boss as well, because I have seen the level of confidence that these girls have, and she's definitely grooming leaders for tomorrow. Definitely, like my time, there were a few of us that would be this bold and confident to sit down and talk, but like I have attended one of their sessions, and I was, to be honest, I was very, very impressed with the level of, just confidence that these girls have. And also, I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again, especially for the parents. If you have a child who wants to be a dancer, train them, teach them to be the best dancer. Not everybody has to be a lawyer or a doctor. If what they want is to just clap, get them extra hands. Let them let them be the best clapper, to the point that if we need to get somebody clapping, they'll be like, that's the one. So because for me, that's how I have been brought up, to be the best in whatever I want to be. And also parents as well. Another thing that you guys have mentioned from the beginning that I wanted to come up to, but then I'll just add it to my closing statement or whatever I'm saying, is if your child is doing well, like, they don't have to be in the science class. Because I studied science. Just because I was doing well at school, I had to be in the science class. Not because my parents wanted me, but then even the school, that was more of the community, the environment, the society. If you do well at school, you go to the science class. If you're average, they'll take you to commerce. If they think you don't do well, they'll say go to the arts class. But then it's not like that. So I end up being in communications. So my science degree, fine, I don't have any regrets, but maybe I could have been a lawyer by now if I was allowed to go to the science class. So this goes out to parents, to teachers especially, when these kids come with their results. Do not say you did so well in maths and English, you have to be in the science class. Let them tell you where they want to be. You can, of course, give them advice. And then at some point in time, you can realize that, okay, you're actually better off in the commerce even. So that's all I have to say. And once again, thank you very much for coming. And I have learned, as I said in the beginning, I mean, it's always good to have young people who are so confident to speak. So tey moom Fatou xale yi ñoo moomun nangu na
ñoom kay ñooñu mun ñun ñëpp but Fatima and Sally, thank you so much. It's really inspiring having you on this being on the same platform with you. And just like I said earlier, I'm sure so many girls will be empowered by this. These are the kind of forums we need to create for young people. And I hope UNICEF, Abdullahi and his team will make sure we have forums like this more often for young people. These are the kind of programs what I've said is we have lagged a lot, us in the media also, in creating programs like this for young people. I know that during the days when we were back in GRT, there were so many times we have children's programs, and so many leaders came out of that. And I think it's about time we bring those programs out and encourage more young people. But we definitely are grateful having you here, and we want to thank the Woman Boss team for empowering you and so many other women, and to UNICEF, Abdullah and team. Thank you very much. Thank you, Zainab, and good night to you all. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Have you run out of cash power? Do you want to transfer funds to your family? Or do you want salary advance without coming to the bank? Your banking services have just been brought to you on your mobile phone. Download and install from your App Store or Google Play Trust Bank's mobile app. Simply search for TBL mobile app and follow the instructions. You can access the following services: funds transfer, cash power purchase, forex rates enquiries, mobile airtime top-up, mini statement, balance enquiry. TBL app is the only app that allows you to take salary advance and many more. You can also interact with your customers using our USSD code by dialing *533#. At Trust Bank, we bring innovation that is useful to you, our valued customer. With our mobile app and USSD, banking is at your fingertips. Trust Bank Limited, proudly Gambian.
Better and stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Déedéet waay ay warul la naaj waaye xam naa ne bu paree rek ma kontaan.
Sama secret mooy Ami Tamaate jeeg balaa jonge day mun waañam Ami Tamaate soo ko defee si sa tooga da koy xonkal cuur jeeg bu koy jëfandikoo sa jëkkër du la musa mere.
Nijaay.
Waaw.
baal ma tey dama naa gis añ bi.
Séeri xiif naa de.
waaye léegi ma pare topp suma lii maa ngi dem yegg kaay. topp suma gannaaw.
loolu de laa bëgg a dégg.
Faro Company mi ñu indil bébé Mariam moo ñu indil Ami Tamaate.
Séeri sa benn cin xonq na.
Ami Tamaate de moo si jaar.
Ami Tamaate.
waaw Ami Tamaate.
moo ko xonqal nii. cëm.
waaw
bis ni ki tey.
waaw
dee naa la Ami Tamaate.
doomi ndey Ami Tamaate bi nag léegi ku ko bëgg nag mooy def nag mu koy am bépp marché boo dugga bitik supermarket table yi bépp foo dugga si biir réew mi di nga am Ami Tamaate.
kër gi nag xam ngeen ko di boutique buñ leen indil fii ci réew mi mu nekk fan ca poori Palmarima dama ne jëkkër ak jabar ànd ak seen doom ba dugg ca biir jënd ba baax waaye looy foog ne dafa seer déedéet kër gaa ngi nii kër gi moom lu baax rek la leen amal loo soxla rek am na ci biir kër gi néeg waañ yëpp am na ci biir kër gi cabinet yëpp am na ci kër gi waay kër gi waay kër gi daal boo duggee ca biir lu waral ree bi ree ji lu ko waral yomb gaa waral ree gi dafa yomb lool moo tax ngay ree kër gaa ngi nii dara seero fi Beko di brand boo xam ne indi lañ leen ko fii ci réewi Gambia kana ko indi kër gi waaye itamit pour dem ci office rek ñu kóot la ba nga ne nekk tay la ba nga ne nag office furniture dañu am design boo xam ne dañ la koy defal ba mu mit nag sa corporate image brand dama ne kër gi daal moo ëpp lépp kër gi daal moo am lépp kër gi daal lépp loo soxla moo lu waral ree ji yomb jee tax ngay ree du waxoon naa la ko fii dara seeru fi yaa ngi dem ba bàyyi di nga dellu si waat kër gi di nga dellu si waat ci kër gi